And we are live, guys. Welcome to a live stream for the Girls of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. Today we're talking a little bit more about relationships, as we always do on this channel. And we're going to explain a little bit more about the male and female dynamic and what produces oxygen for a woman's fire. Now, we're talking about girls of high value having men of high value. Men of high value. Okay, I gotta put an understatement over that, or what is it? I'm gonna underline that because it is so critical for a woman to know that she is with the high value man. Just as men desire very often trophy wives, even though they might not use those words, women also desire trophy husbands or trophy men. It's true. Think about it yourself. Do you want someone that is simply low value, someone that other people do not look up to? Not at all. You want someone that you can know for certainty that others look up to. If other people look up to him, then you will naturally look up to him as well. And it actually produces this kind of, it puts logs on the fires, together with your log of fire, knowing that your man is high value. If someone else puts another log on the fire, and then someone else puts the log on the fire, and suddenly you have a lot of people who look up to your man, that's going to make you fired up outside your brain as a woman. That's just how it is. Women desire men who are men of high value. And truly, it's about him believing that he's high value, because then that creates the environment that makes you believe that he's high value. That's why confidence and power is so incredibly important in the romantic relationship. But you also want to see other people have him high value. You want them to look up to him as well. Just like women are very social creatures, and what other people think of them matters a lot. Now, when I say women, I really mean femininity, because the more men are feminine, the more they care about what other people think. But it's femininity is a womanly nature. Okay, so to basically put a broad stroke and say that women desire men that are high value and men that they can look up to, and they care about what other people think about them, but also about their family and also about their man, is a natural part of life, and we have to accept that. So let's take this a little bit step deeper, because there's something called edification. Now, to edify something means to lift up, okay, or to elevate, or to deem important. When we speak in terms of edification, edifying, that means that you're saying, for example, that this person is an amazing person. They're able to do this and this and this, and I really trust them, and blah, blah, blah. That is edification of that person. And when you do this about someone else, then the third person that you're talking to, or let's say you're talking to a person and then you're speaking about third person, and you're edifying that third person, then this person you're talking to right here automatically, without even having met that person, without even knowing anything else except for what you are saying about that third party person, that's the power of edification, that you can actually instill a belief and trust that that third party or third person is actually someone that they can talk to and trust and believe in. That's how the edification process works. How does this work in terms of your man? You want other people to edify your man constantly. In fact, you need it. It is like oxygen to your fire as a woman. If you never, ever, ever hear your man being edified by a third party, someone coming to you and telling you that your man is such an amazing guy, he does this right and this right and this right, and he's going he's going places and he's making achievements happen, etc., etc., then you'll never really look at him as high value. You literally need someone else to tell it to you, because very often when you're in the home with the guy, you see him make tons of mistakes. You see him not care about the toilet seat being up, or you see him not care about picking up his clothes on the floor. You see him not care about pretty much anything because he's a guy and he doesn't really use his mind space in order to care about the things that you care about. My wife put up an amazing post on the Instagram group at 3 Girls in Love, with the digit three, 3 Girls in Love, where she said, femininity was the little things matter. It's the little things that count, something like that. And that's how it is for women. And it was like very nice with flowers and absolutely beautiful. And then the next slide was men of high value, or masculinity was what was it again? It was, I have more important things to do. Now, obviously, that could, be debatable whether he has more important things to do than to do the small things that matter in the home to you. What's important to you is important to me, right? But at the same time, understand this from the perspective of you being in the home with your partner in monogamy and seeing all these weaknesses and all these problems that he's causing. You will deem him to be low value every time. This is why when you live with someone, especially if you're married, if you're not married, actually your relationship will be better. The moment you get married, that's when the romance pretty much goes out the window, because you've got him. Okay? Now, he can always get a divorce, but very seldom do men initiate divorce. It is women that initiate divorce. So you can understand that once you've got him, because it's going to require a lot of hassle for him to get out of that relationship. And it's probably going to cost him half his fortune, and is going to be the deed of the house and all that stuff and the kids and crazy. So men very often don't want to instigate the divorce thing. So you understand now that because of this low value situation going on in your home, you need to be constantly reminded that he is high value. And most probably he is. I have heard so many stories of CEOs and like masters of huge companies and like multimillionaires and even billionaires, that when they're in the boardroom, they command the room. They have the presence, they have the confidence, they can do anything, and people obey and listen. He comes home, guess what happens? He's a nobody now. Basically, the woman is the one that decides everything in the house, and he has entered her sphere. Even though it's his house, most probably his, he's managed to create all of this, but it's her sphere, which means that he needs to obey her, and she is the master in the home, and he's whipped around like a better guy. So the reason why I'm mentioning this is because women are now creatures. So they can go outside of the home and be together with other people and hear that their man is so amazing from other people, or they can hear from fans. Not everyone has that, right? There's only a few men in society that are like literally elevated by other people. Very few and far between. And men constantly are struggling in the workforce and in their careers in order to make that happen, so that they can actually rise above everyone else, so that their wife can finally look up to them. At home, they feel they have low self-esteem. They do everything wrong, and they can't take care of the kids properly, and they don't take, the safety procedures when it comes to the kids, etc., etc. It's so much. Okay, I've been married for 10 years, but also I've studied thousands of case studies of married people. I know what goes on within those four walls of their home, and it's not good. But everyone keeps it a secret, especially the guys, because hey, he can't tell his buddies that his wife is whipping him around the house and she's nagging and does all those things. Other than if he has another guy who has the exact same problem, then they'll tell each other. But other than that, it becomes a secret, something that they only keep between themselves. If he shows other people than that, he will automatically be low value. What? You can't handle your wife at home? What? You let her do that to you? That's ridiculous. Men want to win. If there's something that men want more than anything else, is they want to win. They want success. And when they share their stories of what's happening inside their home in monogamy, man, they're losing, okay? And it's embarrassing. And they're being beaten up by a woman. From the very beginning of their life, they're like, you're losing to a woman? What the heck is going on? And the low value begins. The edification process disappears if there ever was one in the first place. That's what happens in monogamy. He's edified massively out there. That's why men love to be at work all of the time, because they're actually appreciated. They're actually loved. They're actually like, wow, you did a great job, man. Keep going. You should be working more. Because he gets accolades, he gets recognition, he gets all the worship outside the home. That's a problem. The motivation and the reward and the excitement of what's waiting for him at home is really where it's at. And when a woman does not see constantly that her man is high value, she will have no desire nor capacity to reward her man or to build him up or to motivate him to keep doing what he's doing, but have also self-esteem and self-worth at home. This is becoming more and more of a problem because of feminism, and this is why you get movement like the MGTOW movement, where men are basically going their own way because it's not worth it to be married. Literally. Like, literally. I'm going to repeat that again and again, because for men out there, it really is not worth it to get married at all. At all. The reason why it was worth to get married in the 50s and 60s was because it was actually quite a religious society. You didn't have much sex outside of marriage. It wasn't normal. Those things began happening in the 70s, in the 80s and 90s, and we've come to the situation where we're in today. So men actually got married to have sex, and they got married, and and they wanted to keep it together because it was a family-oriented society. Not so much anymore. So men are basically being left behind all the time, and the governments are in the ball court of the women, which is probably the right thing to do, maybe, but it ruins the family of what's going on right now. An edification process, an edification system must be in place in the home. I'm going to explain now why this is critical. It is because women are social creatures, but they're also now creatures. They're emotional. Women's emotions are way, way more intense than men's, and will always be. Okay? Now, women can become more masculine than men in terms of being able to be more emotionally stable, but it's really ridiculous when that happens, because then you get a feminine man who is very submissive to this woman who's domineering in the home, and he's submissive until a certain point, because femininity, if the pressure cooker is not taken off continuously all of the time so that it doesn't boil over, the man will always boil over when he's feminine. And if he's feminine and he boils over, that's going to affect the woman, because he might use violence, he might use force, he might use very mean words, because men can be really difficult once they explode and they're feminine. And exploding with anger is femininity, okay? It's not masculine. And then that's going also to affect how his children view him. So the children are not even going to edify the man anymore. Do you understand the edification process that needs to happen? If the kids absolutely worship their father, there's an edification process going on a little tiny bit, but usually that's not enough, because the woman knows that these are the children. Obviously, they're going to worship their father because, it's the father. She needs to hear it from someone else that truly deems him as high value, who knows what he's capable of doing. So, women in a different environment than the one they're in, everything changes about their psyche, about their situation, except for all of their past experiences are brought with them to that moment to create the emotion. So there's all these wires in their brains that makes it so that there's the thing that is happening in the now is connecting to all of her past experiences, but it's still connected to her heart and what's happening. I don't know if I'm explaining this properly, but if you're a woman, I believe you understand what I mean. So if women are now creatures and their emotions change depending upon the environment that they're in, imagine now in the home and all of the things that I've mentioned in this video now, imagine if there was someone else other than the kids who were continuously in the home with the wife and who together were going in the same direction with the wife in following the man. Okay? And they're literally going in the same direction. Now, this perfect system, as explained on this channel, is the three girls in love system. When there's three women that are on complete equal standing, that have harmony amongst each other because the man takes the blame for everything. And when that happens, guess what is going on? There is edification. Simply from the fact that there are more than one woman. There's more than one woman there who wants the attention and appreciation of her man. It edifies the man automatically. He naturally is now becoming a trophy husband, someone that she actually wants to be with because obviously he's getting attention from someone else in this home, and they must be desiring him for some reason. For what is it that he brings to the table? It has a triple effect because it's not only in the home in general, but it's in terms of the roles in the home as well. When the man comes home and there are three women that have already done the chores of the house and everything is taken care of, the food is done and the taking care of the kids have been done and the homework of the kids have been done, and basically the house is absolutely amazing because the women have actually enjoyed being at home together, taking care of the domestic things and taking care of the children, which is the most important job in society. We got to understand that. When they do that, the man comes home and he actually doesn't have to help out. This is according to the wiring in men's brains. You got to understand that men actually don't want to do any housework. They don't, and they don't want to take care of small kids other than playing with them when they're already kind of exhausted after a long playful day. This is masculine's men's perspective. Yes, there are guys who want to play with their kids, and of course, we will do that. But on a general basis, to take care of babies and toddlers and run around kids because you have to, and because it's a crisis situation, men don't want that. They want order and they want peace. And that's what happens when there's three women that have loved and taken care of these amazing kids the entire day, and the man can come home, dinner's on the table, he gets the edification from the kids because everyone has been waited for him all day long for him to come home and to tell him what they did on their computer, to tell him what they did and how they drew, and here, Papa, look at this. And the women are just observing these kids running to the father when he comes home, and the father gets all this massive edification. Now, understand that this is not for the man. This is for the women and children. They're the ones that need the edification of the man in the home. It's not for the man, other than the fact that yes, he gets he gets the worship, he gets the rewards for being in the home and for bringing in the dough and doing things right out there. But it's really for the emotional now creatures in the home, because they get money, they get fed, they get the house, they get the environment that has been created because of the wealth that he's produced, but they also see each other edify the man of the house. And that ends up making him edified, high value, amazing, a trophy husband. And when you as a high value, you as a high value girl, girls of high value, when you have a high value man, you can relax. You can be confident that he's going to take care of business, because why on earth would he want to lose this amazing environment that he's created for himself? Why? He wouldn't. And this will be brought into the bedroom. Whenever, actually, that's what I'm going to do in the next live stream. Keep staying here because I'm going to make 3 videos right after each other right now. And the next topic is going to be about what happens in the bedroom, in line with the things that we talk about, that we just talked about in this video. So stay tuned. I'm going to upload a new video right now, but this one is going to go live and stay up published, and the other ones will probably come out in a couple of days. So I'll see you in the next one in just a few minutes.